Welcome to a deep dive into some, well, truly fascinating insights today. We're exploring a remarkable transmission, apparently from the Pleiadian Collective. It came through a channel named Kalen, and it offers this profound perspective on humanity's place, our place within a much larger cosmic family.
It really does. This source provides a unique lens on what many people call extraterrestrial contact. And crucially, it sheds light on those cosmic alliances often whispered about here on Earth. Terms like the Galactic Federation of Light, the Galactic Federation of Worlds, even things like interstellar confederations.
Right. So our mission today is really to unpack what these groups are supposed to be. How do they relate to humanity? And, why is understanding this maybe vital right now for our collective journey? Get ready for a perspective that might just beautifully reframe how you see your own role in the universe. Okay, let's dive in. So to start things off, what's the core message from this transition about contact itself? It sounds like it's really not the cold, clinical encounter some might imagine.
No, absolutely not. You're right. The Pleiadians really emphasize that true contact isn't so much about, say, physical arrival. It's more about an internal state, a vibrational alignment. They stress it's built upon love, consciousness, and mutual respect. That's the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They actually describe it as nothing less than a reunion between long-separated kin.
Wow, kin.
Yeah, suggesting we're not truly separate from this great cosmic family.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. Our internal state, our consciousness, is the prerequisite, not just, a side effect of connection.
That's a really powerful idea that we're already part of something vast and that our own awakening, our own inner work is crucial to this reunion. What does that actually mean for us, for the listener, in practical terms?
Well, they explain what they call a sacred interplay. Basically, as humanity awakens, as we expand our light, meaning, raise our vibration through awareness, compassion, that sort of thing, these cosmic beings are naturally invited closer. It's like resonance. They reach out, often subtly. In dreams, maybe sudden insights, synchronicities showing up in life. And crucially, they ask us to honor your own human journey. Embrace life here on Earth with compassion, with curiosity. By cultivating self-love, inner balance, you'd essentially create the inner stability and trust needed for greater contact to blossom without fear. You become, effectively, a living bridge between Earth and sky. It's not passive waiting at all.
A living bridge. I like that. It's active co-creation.
Exactly.
So now that we understand this sort of deep, loving foundation for contact, the Pleiadians then take us further into the cosmic architecture, you could say. They talk about how these connections extend to these vast galactic groups. But the surprising part, as you hinted, is they're not what you might think when you hear Federation.
Right.
How should we picture these alliances? Are they like, I don't know, cosmic governments? Militaries?
Yeah, that's what's so fascinating. They're very clear. These are definitely not governments as we understand them. Instead, they describe them more like family gatherings of the stars.
Yeah.
Built purely on mutual respect and unity. There's no hierarchy, no domination.
So no top-down structure?
None. Imagine these vast networks of luminous beings, each representing their home worlds, coming together simply to share wisdom, offer support, uplift each other. Think collaborative council, not a controlling body.
That really paints a different picture than, standard sci-fi portrayals. Not governments, but family, focusing on evolution.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's their main purpose in this collaborative setting?
Their primary purpose seems to be assisting emerging worlds, like Earth is considered to be. Safeguarding their sacred journey of evolution. They hold what are described as energetic platforms of support around planets going through big transformations. They even talk about an invisible lattice of light or a harmonic field surrounding Earth right now.
A harmonic field?
Yes, carrying intentions of peace, of awakening. For people who are sensitive, they say this support can almost be felt, like an aura of comfort, a warm embrace from the cosmos.
And it sounds like these alliances don't even meet in, physical buildings or halls. That's another big shift in thinking.
Precisely. They convene in the higher planes of consciousness, where thoughts and, get this, heart waves are the language.
Heart waves?
Yeah. So imagine communicating not with words, but directly. Through shared pure intention, shared emotion. It's like a direct download of feeling, of knowing. Understanding happens instantly. No need for translation, no physical presence required. And that's the context where names like Federation or Confederation come up. They're just human words trying to grasp this ancient kinship among worlds that operates on these higher frequencies.
Okay, this helps frame it. Now, one area that often causes, a lot of confusion And this source clarifies it really beautifully, I think, is the difference between two terms you hear a lot: the Galactic Federation of Light and the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Let's start with the Federation of Light. How did the Pleiadians describe that one?
Right, the Galactic Federation of Light. They acknowledge, first off, that this is a human-given name, but they apparently appreciate it, especially the light part.
Yep.
They describe it as a vast, loving coalition of star nations, all devoted to the enlightenment of civilizations. They clarify it's actually less an organization and more a living mosaic of souls, coming from countless worlds: Pleiadian, Sirian, Arcturan, Andromedan, many others are mentioned. Think of it maybe as a collective consciousness, a shared frequency of benevolent intent.
A living mosaic of souls. That's quite poetic. And what's their specific role, particularly regarding Earth, especially now during this period of intense change?
For Earth, right now in this era of, rapid awakening, they maintain what's called a gentle protective presence. They broadcast waves of love-light harmonics.
Love light harmonics. What does that mean, practically?
Think of it like a beautiful, uplifting symphony, but made of pure intention, sent telepathically, meant to resonate with us, to awaken the highest potential within us. It's subtle energy work. They operate primarily from higher dimensions, so their work is through inspiration, energetic transmission, not overt physical intervention. They really see themselves as friends, not saviors. They're careful to honor humanity's creative power, our free will.
So it's possible someone might connect with this Federation of Light and not even consciously realize it. How might that experience actually manifest for you listening?
That's a good point. Many apparently connect during meditation or in dream time, maybe feeling a kind of benevolent collective presence, a feeling of being supported, or receiving telepathic messages, insights, teachings that just feel deeply true in the heart or soul. These experiences, they stress, are real on the level of soul, even if they don't involve, seeing a physical ship or having a verbal chat.
That really helps clarify the Federation of Light, thank you. Now, what about the other one, the Galactic Federation of Worlds? How does that differ?
Okay, the Galactic Federation of Worlds. This is presented as a sister alliance, born from the same core commitment, the same love, but with a, let's say, more tangible focus. While the Federation of Light works primarily through spiritual and energetic guidance, the Federation of Worlds is described as more directly involved in ensuring that peace and divine order are upheld in your galaxy.
Peace and divine order.
Okay.
Yes.
Its attention extends more into the physical realms, monitoring other extraterrestrial groups that might be near Earth, for instance, and quietly helping to prevent any overt interference that would break cosmic law.
Cosmic law?
Yeah, think of it as universal ethical principles. Principles governing the evolution and interaction of all life, ensuring free will isn't unduly trampled upon.
Okay, so if the Federation of Light is maybe like a cosmic spiritual guidance counselor, is the Federation of Worlds more like a benevolent neighborhood watch for the galaxy, keeping things stable?
That's actually a really good analogy, yes. They are the ones who take a more active role in shielding and guiding. Sometimes even, it's suggested, subtly neutralizing outside interference to keep our world's evolutionary path on track, aligned with that divine plan. But, and this is important, the source emphasizes they are not a military force, not in our sense. They are wise and compassionate protectors, much like elder siblings. They prevent unwanted external interference while still respecting humanity's own organic journey.
It's fascinating how the Pleiadians draw these lines between the two federations. It really clarifies their unique roles. But does this mean they operate totally separately, or is their overlap a bigger system?
Oh, they're definitely interconnected. The source is clear on that. They are certainly interconnected. Memberships might even overlap sometimes. They coordinate seamlessly. Think of it maybe like two different departments within the same large, compassionate organization.
Okay.
The Federation of Light focuses more on consciousness evolution, the inner work, while the Federation of Worlds tends to the structural well-being of planetary systems, using a more direct, though still subtle approach regarding interactions, even potentially with native populations if needed. But ultimately, from their higher perspective, they are simply different expressions of a united galactic council working in harmony, each playing a vital part.
Different expressions of a united council.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So if these federations are groups of star systems working together, what's a confederation then? Does that broaden the scope even more?
It does, significantly further. A confederation spans a vaster scale of cosmic unity, much bigger. For example, they mention the Interstellar Confederation of Light. This is described as an overarching union of countless federations and councils across the universe,
Right.
including members from many different galaxies, dimensions, even realms of pure spirit.
Wow, so it really is like a federation of federations then.
Yeah, precisely. That's a perfect way to think about it. It's described as a holy alliance without borders, bound together by universal love, not treaties. It's within this truly vast confederation that wisdom shared freely across galaxies, apparently. And collective ascent, collective evolution, is supported on that grand scale. They say when Earth, energetically called out for assistance during her transition, many different federations actually coordinated their efforts through this broader confederation.
That highlights its importance in orchestrating support across huge cosmic distances. Incredible. Now, this transmission, of course, comes specifically from the Pleiadian collective. What do they say about their own specific role in this grand cosmic picture? How do they fit into these alliances?
Good question. The Pleiadian collective identifies itself as an advanced society, one that has itself ascended beyond the challenges that Earth now faces. They say they transcended conflict and forgetfulness long ago, and they feel immense compassion for what humanity is going through because they apparently went through similar trials, albeit long ago.
When they say ascended, what does that imply?
It generally implies moving beyond the limitations of purely physical third-dimensional existence, operating from a higher, more unified state of consciousness. Less separation, more unity.
Okay. And how do beings from such an advanced society participate in these larger federations? Do they take charge?
Their participation is entirely by choice through love. Not compulsion, not duty in our sense. They really emphasize that in their culture, subservience to any external authority is unknown. They recognize only the divine source, the God spark within each heart as the true authority. So when they convene with these federations or councils, they do so as equals among friends.
Equals among friends.
Yes, lending their light, their expertise, but also learning from the exchange. They value learning too. They cherish sovereignty just as dearly as they cherish love. So they offer guidance, wisdom, but they would never govern Earth or any other world. That's a crucial point. Wisdom, not rules.
That is crucial. So given they exist in this higher dimensional reality and they don't overtly intervene, how does their help actually manifest for us here on Earth? It must be pretty subtle, right?
It is, yes. Often very subtle, precisely because they operate from higher densities of light. Think of it like different radio frequencies again. They're on a different channel of reality than our dense physical one. So for example, they say they work behind the scenes, healing the etheric layers of Earth. Those are like the energetic blueprints underpinning our physical world, stabilizing grids of light around the planet, transmitting insights directly to receptive individuals.
Okay, so energy work, grid work, inspiration.
Exactly. And during times of collective stress or turmoil, they say they amplify calming frequencies. They infuse the collective consciousness field with visions of peace, of unity. It's about energetic refinement, gentle encouragement.
So it sounds like their biggest wish isn't to swoop in as external saviors, but more to empower us, humanity, to rise into our own mastery from within.
Precisely that. Their greatest wish is for humanity to fully claim its own inherent power and wisdom, its own mastery. They believe that by elevating your own consciousness through things like meditation, practicing love, compassion, you naturally tune into their bandwidth, their vibrational frequency. And when you do that, you might potentially receive direct knowing, insights, maybe even healing energies. Their role, they suggest, will gradually shift towards more open friendship when humanity as a whole is truly ready.
When our collective consciousness reaches a certain level of peace and self-awareness, maybe.
That seems to be the implication, yes. A collective readiness for equal footing.
Okay, now with all these different names, Federation of Light, Federation of Worlds, Confederations, and these nuanced ways they operate, plus the whole nature of channeled information itself, it's pretty natural for listeners, for you to encounter maybe conflicting accounts about these groups out there. How can we, the listener, discern what feels true, what resonates versus what might be, distorted or inaccurate?
That is such a vital question in this whole field. The Pleiadians themselves acknowledge this. They know various messengers on Earth have channeled information, and perceptions can vary. Interpretations differ. They clarify that these groups are not in competition, nor are they separate in the human sense. They use the image of overlapping circles of light.
Overlapping circles.
Yeah, and the same beings, the same consciousnesses, can apparently participate in multiple councils. Or they might present themselves slightly differently depending on the channel's specific resonance, or perhaps the needs of the audience receiving the message.
So how do we navigate that complexity? especially if someone's new to this. What's our internal compass for truth when there's so much information, some of it may be contradictory?
They really point us back inward. They urge you to rely on your own inner resonance, your feeling sense. As they put it, truth has a vibration of clarity and love. You can feel it. When you hear any message, whether it's channeled or from any source, they advise feeling into your heart space. Does it bring expansion, hope, and empowerment? Or does it bring fear or division? That's the key question.
Expansion versus contraction.
Exactly. The true energies of these benevolent alliances will always seek to uplift, to encourage freedom. And crucially, they will never claim your worship, never encourage fear or division, and never ask you to give your power away. That inner gut feeling, that sense of spaciousness or tightness, is your most reliable guide in discerning these energies.
Trust the feeling, trust the heart resonance. That's powerful advice. And finally, what about humanity's role in all this? We're clearly not just passive bystanders, are we? It sounds like we're deeply, actively interwoven into this whole cosmic story.
Oh, absolutely not passive. The source really emphasizes this point. You on Earth are not passive recipients. You are active participants in the unfolding communion with your star family. Many of us here now are described as starseeds, souls who have incarnated on Earth at this time, but carry imprints of other worlds, other star systems. Within our very DNA, our soul memory, we act as a kind of living bridge between dimensions just by being here.
A living bridge.
Yes. And that impulse so many feel to gaze at the night sky, that feeling of longing for home somewhere out there, they suggest that's often fueled by a genuine memory of belonging to this larger cosmic family. It's a soul-level remembrance.
So we actually have the ability to connect with this vast family directly, from right here, right now.
Absolutely. The potential is within each of us. Through practices like meditation, prayer, even just setting a clear, loving intention, you can consciously open a channel to these higher alliances. And interestingly, imagination is highlighted, not as make-believe, but as a powerful soul tool.
Imagination as a tool for perception.
Yes, a way to perceive higher realities that might seem subtle to our everyday physical senses. They suggest that small moments of contact, maybe a fleeting feeling or insight, will grow into a deepening dialogue as you practice, as you open to it. This whole grand awakening that's talked about. It isn't something just happening to you. It's the activation of your own soul codes, remembering your true multidimensional nature. And these galactic groups, they say, are actively sending frequencies, like supportive signals, directly to our DNA, whispering energetically, it is time to awaken.
Wow.
So every step you take towards love, towards self-awareness, towards compassion, it aligns you more closely with these benevolent energies and actively participates in this grand symphony of ascension. It really comes down to remembering who you truly are, beyond the purely human identity. And if we connect all of this to the bigger picture, this deep dive really reveals something profound. The ultimate gift being offered by these cosmic contacts is guidance. It isn't about external salvation at all. It's actually holding up a mirror for you to see your own divine power.
A mirror for our own divine power. So what does this all mean for you, listening right now? It's really a reminder, isn't it? That you were born free, a sovereign soul, connected to a vast cosmic heritage. The path forward, the light, isn't coming from some distant star to save you. It's shining from deep within you. Because, as the Pleiadians so beautifully put it, the universe itself lives within you. Your personal journey of cellular remembrance, of expanding your consciousness, that is the key. The key that opens every door to this vast, loving, cosmic community that's waiting, it seems, with open arms. The question is, what will you discover when you decide to open yours?